Dear students, welcome to all of you in EPG Pathshala in paper Atmospheric Processes under the subject of Environmental Sciences. Today, we are going to discuss about a topic known as applications of GIS and GPS, the learning outcomes. After studying this model, you shall be able to know the concept and definition of GIS and GPS, know the major components of GIS and GPS systems and their functions. Appreciate the power of GIS and GPS tools in scientific studies and making life easier. Know various applications of GIS and GPS. Know indigenous and globally developed GIS and GPS. Let us start with the introduction. Geographical Information System, that GIS, is a modern and efficient tool for handling spatial data. It is an integrated computer-based system of geography and information tied together. The applications of GIS are immense, pertaining to almost all disciplines. Global Positioning System, that is GPS, further enhances the capability of GIS by providing real-time positional data along with several applications. In this module, working of GIS and GPS is briefly explained along with their areas of applications. Geographical Information System. GIS is a system of hardware, software, and procedures designed to support the capture, management, manipulation, analysis, modeling, and display of spatially referenced data for solving complex planning and management problems. It is an integrated system that is designed to work with spatial and attribute data. In other words, a GIS is both a system with specific capabilities for spatially referenced data as well as a set of operations for working with non-spatial data. Now, components of GIS. GIS integrates 5 key components: hardware, software, data, people, and methods. Hardware. Hardware is the computer system on which a GIS operates and the GIS software runs. The computer forms the backbone of the GIS hardware. Besides this, it needs input and output devices. Scanner and or digitizer board are the most common input devices, whereas printers and plotters are output devices for a GIS hardware setup. Software. GIS software provides the functions and tools needed to store, analyze, and display geographic information. The key software components are data input and verification, data storage and database management, data transformation, data output and presentation, interaction with the user. Data. The most important component of GIS is the data. GIS has 2 types of data. One is spatial data, another one is attribute. Spatial data refers to all types of data, objects, or elements that are present in a geographical space. It enables the global finding and location of individuals or devices anywhere in the world. Spatial data is also known as geospatial or geography data. Attribute data. Attribute data is information appended in a tabular format with respect to the spatial features. Attribute data provides characteristics about spatial data. People. GIS users range from technical specialists who design and maintain the system to those who use it to help them perform their everyday work. The people who use GIS can be broadly classified into 2 classes: the GIS operator, whose work is to vectorize the map objects, and GIS engineers or users who use this vectorized data to perform query analysis for problem solving. In slide number 10, this figure shows the different data elements in geographical and also the attribute data related to the spatial features. Now, methods. Above all, a successful GIS operates according to a well-designed plan and business rules, which are the models and operating practices unique to each organization. There are various techniques used for map creation and further usage for any project. Now, formats of the GIS data. In GIS, the spatial data can be represented in 2 types of formats. One is vector format, another is raster format. The vector format, in vector format, any real feature on Earth is represented either as point, line, or polygon In vector models, objects are created by connecting points with straight lines or arcs, and area is defined by a set of lines. Information about points, lines, and polygons is encoded and stored as collection of xy coordinate. The location of a point feature such as tube well can be described by a single xy coordinate. Linear features such as river can be stored as a collection of point coordinates. Polygon features such as river catchment can be stored as a closed loop of coordinates. In slide 14, this figure shows the different ground features in the vector format, that is either as point, line, or polygon. Now the raster format. The raster data represents all information in square pixels or picture elements form, which is the smallest unit of whole raster representation. In raster format, study area is divided in a regular grid of cells in which each cell contains single value. Continuous data type such as elevation, vegetation, etc. are represented using raster models. In slide 16, we can see the raster format. The ground features are shown in square pixels or picture elements. This figure represents the grid in graphical space in the form of rows and columns. Data input in GIS. After receiving existing spatial data, it needs to be converted into digital format which is compatible with the GIS software. This data could be obtained by primary data sources such as satellite or GPS, that is global positioning system, or secondary data source such as paper maps. The process of converting paper maps to digital data is called digitizing, and it can be done using digitizer or scanner. Another method is on-screen digitization, which is manual digitizing on the computer monitor using a data source such as raster image or topo sheet as the background. Now coming to the basic GIS functionalities. GIS software combines computer mapping functionality that handles and displays spatial data with database management systems functionality to handle attribute data. The basic functionalities of GIS is as follows: querying both spatial and attribute data, manipulating the spatial component of the data, buffering where all locations lying within a set of distance of a feature or set of features are identified, overlaying, which involves data integration using one or multiple layers using a mathematical overlay operation, aerial interpolation. Now the questions GIS can answer. A spatial database created in GIS allows us to ask questions such as, what is it, this location, where are these features found, and what is near this feature. It also allows us to integrate data from a variety of disparate sources. However, GIS can answer more complicated questions pertaining to like location, condition, trends, pattern, modeling, etc. Some of the common questions which GIS can answer are locations, what is at, or condition, where is at, trends, what has changed since, pattern, what spatial pattern exists, modeling, what if, spatial questions, which center lies within 10 kilometers of each other, and some other non-spatial questions. Now let's go through the applications of GIS. GIS has emerged as a very powerful technology to integrate spatial and attribute data and methods in ways that support traditional forms of geographical analysis, such as map overlay analysis, as well as new types of analysis and modeling that are beyond the capability of manual methods. With GIS, it is possible to map, model, query, and analyze large quantities of data all held together within a single database. The development of GIS has relied on innovations made in many different disciplines like geography and cartography. GIS is now used extensively in government, business, and research for a wide range of applications, including environmental resource analysis, land use planning, locational analysis, tax appraisal, utility and infrastructure planning, real estate analysis, marketing and demographic analysis, habitat studies, and archaeological analysis. Not only this, GIS can be applied as a tool in almost all disciplines of science and technology like photogrammetry, remote sensing, surveying, geodesy, civil engineering, statics, computer science, operations, research, artificial intelligence, demography, and many other branches of the social science, natural science, and engineering. Indeed, some of the most interesting applications of GIS technology discussed below draw upon this interdisciplinary character and heritage. One of the first major areas of application was in natural resource management, including management of wildlife habitat, wild and scenic rivers, recreation resources, floodplains, wetlands, agricultural lands, aquifers, forest. One of the largest areas of application has been in facilities management. Uses for GIS in this area included locating underground pipes and cables, balancing loads in electrical network, planning facility maintenance, tracking energy use. Local, state, and federal governments have found GIS particularly useful in land management. GIS has been commonly applied in areas like zoning and subdivision planning, land acquisition, environmental impact policy, water quality management, maintenance of ownership. More recent and innovative uses of GIS have used information based on street networks. GIS has been found to be particularly useful in addressing matching, location analysis or site selection, development of evacuation plans. The range of application for GIS is growing as systems become more efficient, more common, and less expensive. Some of the newest applications have taken GIS to unexpected areas. The USGS, that is United States Geological Survey, and the city of Boulder, Colorado in USA have come up with some innovative uses of GIS: global change and climate history project, emergency response planning, site selection of water wells, wildfire hazard identification and mitigation system. GIS application in atmospheric sciences. GIS and other geospatial technologies have become increasingly available to the atmospheric sciences such as weather, climate, hydrometeorology, and for societal impact studies. Assessment of wind or storm speed using interpolation inverse distance weightage, that is IDW interpolation, is commonly used in GIS to create raster overlays from point data. Once the data are on a regular grid, control lines can be threaded through the interpolated values and the map can be drawn as either a vector contour map or a raster shaded map. In slide 29, this figure represents the assessment of wind or storm speed using IDW interpolation method. Average annual lightning strike density in figure 5. Lightning strike density in an area was mapped using coarse resolution raster data. Wind speed mapping using TIN method and linear models. TIN, that is triangular irregular network, is another tool in GIS and it is a vector data structure. It creates a surface formed by triangles of nearest points. In figure 7, wind speed was mapped and shown as continuous raster surface model. Model can also be developed using linear relationship as shown in figure 8. In slide 31, this map shows the average annual lightning strike density in an area which was mapped using coarse resolution raster data. Whereas in slide 32, this figure represents the mapping of wind speed using TIN, whereas the wind speed was mapped and shown as continuous raster surface model. Other useful applications of GIS in atmospheric or climatic context are tracking of tornado outbreaks, tracking of tsunami arrival, speeding power restoration after a storm. This figure represents atmospheric data visualization with spatial analysis using an open source GIS tool. Global Positioning System, GPS. The Global Positioning System is a space-based navigation system that provides reliable positioning, navigation, and timing services. Most widely used GPS was developed by the US military, which is named as NOSTAR in 1950s. Initially, it is a service were solely available for the use of army. Later on, it has been made accessible to the civilian users too, and nowadays it provides continuous worldwide services free to all. Some other countries have also put in place similar space-based navigation systems like that of Nowstar GPS. Examples include GLONASS, which is of Russia, Galileo, which is of Europe, and Beidou, which is of China. Now, let's talk about the segments of GPS. There are three major segments of GPS. These are space segment, user segment, and control segment. The space segment consists of the constellation of spacecrafts, satellites, and the signals broadcast by them allow users to determine position, velocity, and time. The basic functions of the satellites are to receive and store data transmitted by the control segment stations, maintain accurate time by means of several onboard atomic clocks, transmit information and signal to users on two L-band frequencies. In slide 38, this figure shows different segments of the GPS. The space segment is an Earth-orbiting constellation of 24 active and 5 spare GPS satellites circling the Earth in 6 orbital planes. Each satellite is oriented at an angle of 55 degrees to the equator. The nominal circular orbit is at 20,200 kilometers altitude. Each satellite completes one Earth orbit every 12 hours. There is 2 orbits every 24 hours. There is an orbital speed of about 4 km per second. Each GPS satellite, figure 10, that is mentioning, transmits a unique navigational signal centered on 2 L-band frequencies of the electromagnetic spectrum, permitting the ionospheric propagation effect on the signals to be eliminated. At these frequencies, the signals are highly directional and so are easily reflected or blocked by the solid objects. Clouds are easily penetrated, but the signals may be blocked by foliage. That is, the extent of blockage is dependent on the type and the density of the leaves and the branches. In slide 40, this figure represents GPS satellite in space. Now, the control segments. The control segments has a responsibility for maintaining the satellites and their proper functioning. This include maintaining the satellites in their proper orbital position called station keeping and monitoring satellite health and status. The CS, which is shown in figure 11, also monitors the satellite solar arrays, battery power levels. There are 5 ground facility stations of Nowstar GPS, that is Hawaii, Colorado Springs, Exchange Island, Diego Garcia, and Kerguelen. All are owned and operated by the U.S. Department of Defense and perform the following functions. All the 5 aforesaid stations are monitoring stations equipped with GPS receiver to track the satellites. The resultant tracking data is sent to the master control station. Colorado Springs is the master control station, MCS, whereas the tracking data are processed in order to compute the satellite ephemerides and satellite clock corrections. It is also the station that initiates all operations of the space segment, such as spacecraft maneuvering, signal encryption, satellite clock keeping, etc. In slide 42, the figure shows different monitor and master control stations worldwide. 3 of the stations, that is Exchange Island, Diego Garcia, and Kerguelen, are upload stations allowing for the uplink of the data to the satellites. The data includes the orbit and the clock correction information transmitted within the navigation, message, as well as command telemetry from the MCS. Overall, operation of the control and space segment is the responsibility of the U.S. Air Force Space Command, 2nd Space Wing Satellite Control Squadron at the Falcon Air Force Base, Colorado. The GPS satellite travel at high velocity, almost 4 km per second, but within a more or less regular orbit pattern. After a satellite has separated from its launch rocket and it begins orbiting the Earth, its orbit is defined by its initial position and velocity, and the various force fields acting on the satellite. Now coming to the user segment. The user receiving equipment, typically referred to as the GPS receiver as shown in the figure 12, processes the L-band signals transmitted from the satellite to determine PVT, that is position, velocity and time. There has been a significant evolution in the technology of GPS receiving sets since they were initially manufactured in the mid-70s. Initially, they were large, bulky and heavy analog devices, primarily used for military purposes. With today's technology, a GPS receiver of comparable or more capability typically weighs less than 100 grams to a few hundred grams and occupies a small volume. As in slide 45, this figure shows the user segment, that is GPS receiver. Now coming to the functioning of the GPS. The GPS system consists of three pieces. There are the satellites that transmit the position information. There are the ground stations that are used to control the satellites and update the information. And finally, there is the receiver that one purchases. It is the receiver that collects data from the satellites and computes its location anywhere in the world based on information it gets from the satellites. There is a popular misconception about GPS that a GPS receiver somehow sends information to the satellites, but this is not true. It only receives data. Indian Global Positioning System, that is GAGAN. In August 2001, the Airports Authority of India (AAI) and the ISRO (Indian Space Research Organization) reached an agreement for the establishment of GAGAN, that is GPS-aided Geo-Augmented Navigation System, as shown in the figure 13. The development plan consists of three different phases: Technology Demonstration System, that is TDS, Initial Experimental Phase, that is IEP, Final Operational Phase, that is FOP. GAGAN stability tests were successfully completed in June 2013. In slide 48, this figure represents the configuration system of operation in GAGAN. The GAGAN is designed to provide the additional accuracy, availability and integrity necessary to enable users to rely on GPS for all phases of flight, from en route through approach, for all qualified airports within the GAGAN services volume. GAGAN will also provide the capability for increased accuracy in position reporting, allowing for more uniform and high quality air traffic management, that is ATM. In addition to this, GAGAN will provide benefits beyond aviation to all modes of transportation, including maritime, highways, railroads and public services such as defense services, security agencies, telecom industry and personal users of position location applications. Sources: ISRO Satellite Center, ISAC. Now let us discuss about the applications of GPS. First one is timing. In addition to longitude, latitude and altitude, the Global Positioning System, that is GPS, provides a critical fourth dimension, that is time. Each GPS satellite contains multiple atomic clocks that contributes very precise time data to GPS signals. GPS receivers decode these signals, effectively synchronizing each receiver to the atomic clocks. This enables users to determine the time to within 100 billionth of a second without the cost of owning and operating atomic clocks. Precise time is crucial to a variety of economic activities around the world. Communication systems, electrical power grids, and financial networks all rely on precision timing for synchronization and operational efficiency. The free availability of GPS time has enabled cost saving for companies that depend on the precise time and has led to the significant advances in the capability. Roads and highways. It is estimated that delays from the congestion on highways, streets and the transit systems throughout the world results in productivity losses in hundreds of billions of dollars annually. Other negative effects of congestion includes property damage, personal injuries, increased air pollution and inefficient fuel consumption. The availability and accuracy of the global positioning system, that is GPS, offers increased efficiencies and safety for the vehicle using highways, streets, and mass transit systems. Many of the problems associated with the routing and dispatch of commercial vehicles is significantly reduced or eliminated with the help of GPS. Many nations use GPS to help survey their roads and highways networks by identifying the location of features or near or adjacent to the road's network. These include service stations, maintenance and emergency services, and supplies, entry and exit ramps, damage to the road system, etc. The information services as an input to the GIS data gathering process. This database of knowledge helps transportation agencies to reduce maintenance and service costs, and it enhances the safety of drivers using the roads. Now, in space, the GPS is revolutionizing and revolutionizing the way nations operate in space. From guidance systems for crewed vehicles to the management, tracking, and control of communication satellite constellations to monitor the Earth from the space. Benefits of using GPS include navigation solution, that is providing high precision orbit determination and minimum ground control crew with existing space qualified GPS units. Attitude solutions, replacing high cost onboard attitude sensors with low cost multiple GPS antenna and specialized algorithms. Timing solutions, replacing expensive spacecraft atomic clocks with low cost precise time GPS receivers. In aviation, aviators throughout the world use the global positioning system to increase the safety and efficiency of flight. With its accurate, continuous, and global capabilities, GPS offers seamless satellite navigation services that satisfy many of the requirements for aviation users. Space-based position and navigation enables three-dimensional position determination for all phases of flight, from the departure and route, arrival to airport services, surface navigation. New and more efficient air routes made possible by GPS are continuing to expand. Vast savings in time and money are being realized. In many cases, aircraft flying over data sparse areas such as oceans have been able to safely reduce their separation between one another, allowing more aircrafts to fly more favorable and efficient routes, saving time, fuel, and increasing cargo revenue. The applications of GPS in agriculture. The development and implementation of the precision agriculture or site-specific farming has been made possible by combining the GPS and GIS together. These technologies enable the coupling of real-time data collection with accurate position information, leading to the efficient manipulation and analysis of large amount of geospatial data. GPS-based applications in precision farming are being used for farm planning, field mapping, soil sampling, tractor guidance or crop scouting, variable rate applications of inputs like pesticides or fertilizers application, and yield mapping. GPS allows farmers to work during low visibility field conditions such as rain, dust, fog, and darkness. In surveying and mapping, using the near pinpoint accuracy provided by the GPS with ground augmentations, highly accurate surveying and mapping results can be rapidly obtained, thereby significantly reducing the amount of equipment and labor hours that are normally required of other conventional surveying and mapping techniques. Today, it is possible for a single surveyor to accomplish in one day what used to take weeks within an entire team. GPS is unaffected by wind, rain, or reduced sunlight and is rapidly being adopted by professional surveyors and mapping professionals throughout the world. GPS and precision agriculture. The main objective of precision agriculture is to get more and more output by providing optimum input. Precision agriculture is doing the right thing at the right place at the right time. Knowing the right thing to do may involve all kinds of high-tech equipments and fancy statistics or other analysis. In this context, GPS becomes part of precision agriculture for analysis and processing of remote sensed images. Requires ground truth information collected in the field at a variety of sites and often at various times throughout the crop production seasons. Conventionally, this data has been manually recorded on field sheets, air photos, or paper maps, and considerable time and effort is required to convert it to the digital format for use in remote sensing or GIS. For image analysis, the ground data must be digitized in order to create a mask for training the software to recognize different conditions and classify the remotely sensing imagery or RS imagery. Now, we have an interactive portable system to record field data directly into a digital database consisting of yield, soil, road, water, and contour maps overlain on air photos or remote sensing imagery. A GPS receiver is linked to a notebook computer displaying appropriate pre-loaded information layers, and a software package then combines incoming GPS signals with the display data to allow the users to use where they are with respect to the map components. In agricultural production, soil is the media on which seeds are sown or a plant is planted. Whether growing forage, feed, food or fiber, plant growth depends on the soil conditions and the soil quality. The following section describes how GPS are used for soil sampling and mapping purposes. Now, soil sampling aided by GPS, that is the application of GPS in soil sampling. The soil sampling is like the foundation of a house. No matter how much effort we put into building the house is only as good as the foundation. The same principle applies to the precision agriculture. To effectively manage soil-plant interrelationships, thematic information on soil across the length and breadth of the field is very, very important. Grid sampling is used for precision agriculture because it is a simple and does not require soil science experience. Once the soil data has been collected or procured, the data can be displayed and analyzed. There are two basic types of grid sampling as shown in the figure 17, which are used to collect soil data for precision agriculture. These are area sampling, we can say it grid cells, point sampling with interpolation, or we can say it grid point. As it is shown in slide 60, this figure shows the different types of grid sampling, which include aerial sampling, grid cells, and point sampling with interpolation or grid point. Now, summary. Finally, we can conclude that what we have learned from the following in this lesson: GIS is a system for capturing, storing, integrating, manipulating, and analyzing, and also displaying spatial data. Whereas GPS is basically a system to determine precise location of an object, and its main purpose is to aid in navigation. The hardware components, software, data, people, that is users, and methods are the major components of GIS. Vector and raster data formats are the two important data formats in GIS. Querying, overlaying, and buffering are the key functions of GIS. There are three major segments of GPS already discussed, which include space segment, control segment, and the user segment, which is also known as the receiver part. Some functional GPS service systems in the world include Navstar, that is in USA, GLONASS in Russia, Galileo in Europe, etc. India has also developed its own global positioning system, which is known as Gagan. In combination with various scientific and applied disciplines, that is, we can say computer science, statistics, meteorology, soil science, geography, cartography, which is a map composition technique or a method, photogrammetry, remote sensing, civil engineering. The application of GIS and GPS nowadays cater to the need of very wide range of sectors. Examples include roadways or waterways, transportation, aviation, artificial intelligence, real-time weather monitoring or forecasting, climate mapping, rescue and search operation during exigencies or disaster management, land cover change detection, land use planning, agriculture, particularly in precision agriculture, natural resources explorations, example oil mineral mapping, corporate governance and implementation or monitoring of societal programs. Thanks for the patience.